So we are going to continue about the cervical erosion. In previous we have seen about the benign cervical lesions. We have covered about the cervical polyp. So now we are going to start about the cervical erosion. So what is cervical erosion? Second synonym for it is cervical ectopy. What is it? What is this? What we see? This is the normal cervix, and if there is any uh, if pathology, that is benign lesions takes to the cervix, then it looks like this way. That is cervical erosion. But what is actually it is? So it is a bright red area around the external os due to what happened over here. There is a replacement of the stratified squamous epithelium. Replacement of the stratified squamous epithelium of the ectocervix with endocervical columnar epithelium, which is thin and shows the underlying blood vessels. What happened? Replacement of stratified squamous epithelium of the ectocervix. This is endocervix. This is ectocervix. Ecto with the endocervical columnar epithelium. That is the cervical erosion or ectopy. So what is also known as the cervical erosion? What has we say that there is a changes takes place. What is this response? It is a physical response to hormonal changes during that occur in pregnancy. That is the reason for it. Second, the number of columnar epithelial cells in the cervical canal increases significantly under the influence of estrogen during pregnancy. So next question it is why this is happening, why the squamous cells are replaced by that of the columnar cells. The reason behind it, that is the hormones. Which hormone? Estrogen hormone. And when? During the pregnancy. As we know that before the pregnancy, whatever the estrogen and progesterone level acts combined together for up to 28 days, and if the pregnancy does not occur, it withdraws. But when the pregnancy, there is a continuation of progesterone level, and whatever the changes that takes place during the estrogen, that leads to the changes in the cells, that is squamous cells replaced by that of columnar. They extend beyond to the vaginal surface of the cervical os. So it is how it looks like. It is given, normally it is a pinkish color, but it gives a dark red appearance. This area is vascular and the cells form only a single layer. Bleeding may occur either spontaneously or following the sexual intercourse. That is the what is the symptoms that it can be produced. So what happened here? It is also known as a cervical erosion. Although no erosion of cells actually occurs, though it is a name, it is the erosion. Is it there something erosion of the cells? So answer is no. There is no actually erosion of the cells. So what is it? It is a benign condition. Mind it, it is a benign condition. It is not a malignant condition or cancerous condition, which is commonly seen on examination of the cervix in adolescents, in pregnancy, and in women taking estrogen containing contraceptive, oral contraceptive pills. However, cervical cancer and the cervical intraepithelial neoplasia, that is CIN, need to be excluded before any treatment or reassurance to the patient is offered. So what is the main role of physician over here? That when any patient comes to you and having some contact bleeding or bleeding after spontaneously or bleeding after sexual intercourse, so it is a duty or it is a role of the physician to rule out whether it is CIN or whether it is the cancer as such. That is the main important thing that physician has to do it. Then give the assurance to the patient that this is not after doing the proper investigation. So what is the etiology and pathophysiology behind this cervical erosion? So whatever the lower portion of the cervix is the lower portion of the uterus, and what it consists of? It consists of two parts, that is the endocervix and the ectocervix. And this endo means inside, ecto means outside. So this endocervical canal, endocervix, the more proximal and the inner part of the cervix, that is inner part of the cervix, while that of the it is lined by a mucus secreting, that is simple columnar epithelium. While in case of ectocervix, the part of the cervix that is projects outside of the vagina, it is normally lined by the stratified squamous non-keratinized epithelium. That is what it looks like. So if you see this diagram, just see it over here. This is the fundus of the uterus. This is the body of the uterus. And when the cervix, if we have just magnified it, this is internal os, this is the external os. And whatever this cervix which is present inside of it is endocervix. And whatever the cervix which is present over here, it is the ectocervix. That what we are going to see. This is the normal structure of female genital. And what happened? What we see is to see this appearance, that is the appearance of this reproductive age group, and this is at the menopausal, that is peri and post. If we magnify it, it is endocervical, and this is transformation zone, that is, and this is ectocervical. This is normal. But if you compare with here from the menopause, so whatever the cells which are present up to here in menopause age group, it goes up to here. That is the basic difference between reproductive age group and the menopausal age group, peri and postmenopausal age group. This is the changes that takes place. So, in cervical ectropion, the stratified squamous cells of the ectocervix undergo metaplastic change to become simple columnar epithelium, and the same as that of endocervix. This change is thought to be induced by, what is the reason behind it? It is the hormone, that is the estrogen, which is responsible for it. And the columnar epithelium contains mucus secreting glands, and thus some individual with cervical ectropion experience increased vaginal discharge. So during that time, what it leads to? Increased vaginal discharge. It may also give rise to the postcoital bleeding, as the fine blood vessels present within the epithelium are easily broken during the intercourse. So that is the reason, so why there is a bleeding in the cervical ectropion. So this is the cervical erosion, what we see in this diagram. So what is cervical erosion? Just see. This is part becomes, this is cervical erosion. So depending on the depth and the area where it is covered, it is divided into three parts: simple, granular and papillary. Simple, granular and papillary, and degree: first degree, second degree, third degree, less than 1/3, 1/3 to 2/3, and more than 2/3. So that is the types of the cervical erosion. And this is the Nabothian cyst. What happened? Nabothian cyst, from which secretion of functional granular epithelium becomes trapped below the surface of the skin. So below this there are the glands, and what is the function of this gland? To secretion. But what happened? Due to this cell replaces the whatever the opening of this gland, it gets compressed, and whatever the discharge remains inside of it, and it leads to the collection of fluid. That is, for collection of fluid, what we use the word, that is called as a cyst. So what we say, and then it is the gland which is present over here, it is a Nabothian gland, and the collection of fluid, that is Nabothian cyst. What we see, this is the cervix, this is red part of it, that is cervical erosion, and this is the cyst, that is the collection of fluid, that is called as a Nabothian cyst. This can occur because, what is the reason? Normal deep infolding of the endocervical epithelium. Just this diagram. Whatever the endocervical, what will it leads to? Gets compressed over here. And this fold, what it leads to? Whatever the glands which are present over here, the opening of the gland is get blocked, and it leads to the formation. Whatever the secretion of this gland, it remains over here, and it leads to the formation of cyst. Then when squamous exocervical epithelium covers over the mucus producing endocervical epithelium, that is squamous metaplasia, more commonly after childbirth, and sometimes occur concomitantly with cervicitis. So what happens when this Nabothian cyst occurs? It is commonly after the delivery, that is after the childbirth, and in some cases it may appear after the it is associated along with the cervicitis, that is inflammation of cervix is also associated with that of Nabothian cyst. So what is the risk factors? As what we have seen, that what is the reason behind it? The reason behind it is the estrogen that is more responsible, that is level of estrogen. So therefore the factors which increases the risk of ectropens are related to that increases the level of estrogen. But obvious, the reason for this is the estrogen level. So whatever the factors which increases the level of estrogen are risk factor for the development of this cervical erosion. So what is common things which contains the more of estrogen level increases, that is commonly oral contraceptive pills, and second one during the pregnancy, third one that is the adolescence age group, that is the before the 16 before 15. So what is the age group that is called as a adolescence age group, where the level of estrogen increases. And next one is that is the menstruating age, that is it is uncommon in postmenopausal women, because as we know that after the menopause the estrogen levels drops down, and when the estrogen level drops down, so chances of cervical erosion are less, because the reason for it is the level of estrogen, that is the risk factors. So what is the clinical features that what we can see over here? The cervical ectropia is most commonly it is asymptomatic. We do not get symptoms of this. So it is most of the asymptomatic. Then it can occasionally present with that of postcoital bleeding, intermenstrual bleeding, or excessive discharge, that is non-purulent one, non-offensive discharge most of all. And on specular examination, the everted columnar epithelium has a reddish appearance. How it looks? A reddish cervix. Normally how it looks like that of the pinkish color. So usually arranged in a ring around the external os. That is the presentation of this. So what see in this diagram? This is the red area. That is what we see it. This is the cervix, and whatever this red rounded structure, this is cervical erosion. So what is the differential diagnosis of this? We think about it is the cervical erosion. So what are the other chances that can take place, it can be present? So what we can think about is the cervical cancer may be there, or cervical intraepithelial neoplasia, and the cervicitis, that is the simple inflammation of the cervix, typically caused by any infection, can also be there. And sometimes pregnancy also leads to the redness of this. So we can mimic it looks like that of a cervical erosion. So this should be excluded by the relevant investigation, that as we know that for to rule out the cervical cancer, we can think about doing the pap smear, that is to CIN also, and for the cervical cancer also. CIN stand for cervical intraepithelial neoplasia. So what are the investigation we are going to do for this? So investigation, that is the main, that is what we have to do, the pregnancy test. Second, triple swab, that is suggestion with any infection, that is if there is a discharge which is present, it is of offensive discharge, that is purulent discharge, and endocervical and high vaginal swabs, we have to take it for this. So we have to go inside of it for the endocervical and the vaginal swab, and cervical smear to rule out the cervical intraepithelial neoplasia. And if a frank lesion is observed, what we have to do is the biopsy, that is we have to take the part of that cervix and send it for the investigation. That is the treatment, but it is not the most important. Biopsy is not a regular one, it has to be done. And the management part of it, the cervical ectropia is regarded as a normal variant, does not require treatment unless asymptomatic. So what is the basic treatment? As the cause for it, what is it the cause? The estrogen level. So what we have to give the treatment? First we have to treat the cause. So what we have to give it? We have to give the line of treatment such that which stop any estrogen containing medications. For example, if you do during the history taking, if we see that there is a presence of combined oral contraceptive pills, then we have to stop it. Then again, if symptom persists, then columnar epithelium can be ablated, typically using a cryotherapy or electrocautery, and this will result in significant vaginal discharge until healing is completed. Medication to acidify the vaginal pH has been suggested, such as boric acid, pessaries, we can think about it. So that is related with that of cervical erosion. Thank you.